Welcome to part two. I'm joined by Kent from Belfast in Northern Ireland. Kent, what do you make of the Katie Taylor, Eddie Hills scenario for Croke Park and all this nonsense? What do you reckon, Kent?
What's that? Sorry, Russell.
What do you reckon to all this Katie Taylor at Croke Park? It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. Everybody knows Eddie Dake go to Ireland, don't they? So why are they dragging it out? Why don't they just say, look, there's no in Ireland because Eddie don't want to visit there.
I'm bored of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about Conor McGregor. I don't like Conor McGregor. I'm sick of hearing about it.
I don't think anybody likes him in Ireland, do they?
He's just making out. He's just Conor's just jumping in and making everything about himself. I don't like him. I used to really like him. I was right behind him.
Posters down, Kent.
I was way back. I was fully for Conor McGregor coming through. He beat just Jose Aldo. He was a superstar. He was great. He cutting amazing promos. He was entertaining, but I don't like the language towards Habib. I don't like the disrespect he showed him. I don't like the incident where he threw the trolley through the window. I just don't like how he conducted himself, and Rose Namajunas and that was really upset. At that event, Michael Cassia had particles of broken glass in his eye, couldn't fight, lost his purse. I just don't like him. He hit that old man in the pub that time. I just don't like him. I'm sick of hearing about Conor McGregor making all this about himself and Eddie pandering to him. I'm just sick of it. So I am. I'm bored of it.
Right then, 10 more talking points. We've got 38 minutes to do it. So here goes. 3 minutes on each one. Wood Lara, who you got?
I'm going to go for Lara. Punches too hard.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Lara by stoppage. Yeah,
he's been more active. I don't think Wood has the experience in his team. He showed that in his last fight. I don't think he was getting the right instructions. I think he just abandoned everything that he had been doing and just went for broke. So I'm going to go with Lara. He's a massive puncher. He trains at altitude. He's from Mexico. He's basically got another lung on top of what he's got.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's not that long ago that Gav McDonald put Lee Wood on moon, isn't it?
He's a Mexican. He's a really heavy lead hand. He leads with his lead hand. So I think Lara's gonna. I think it's a brilliant fight. It's a brilliant fight. But I'm just gonna go with the puncher.
Okay. What about Billy Joe Saunders doing the rounds on the podcast with Johnny Horsecock Nelson, saying he's coming back and that? Personally, I don't believe it. What do you think?
I think he's just using the Eubank thing just to make it about himself. I don't really care, to be honest with you. It's, getting back to winning a world title, and who would want to promote him, to be honest with you? He brings absolute chaos, to the whole. He brings chaos to boxing. He hasn't fought in over 2 years. What conditions he in? You just can't take those breaks when you're in your 30s and expect to jump off where you left off. So I can't see him coming back. I really can't see him coming back, but I don't know which promoter would have him, to be honest with you.
Well, if he wears that white fleece again, he'll look like Frosty the Snowman.
Can't see it. Can see him coming back, but I can't see him win the world title, to be honest with you.
Good. Tommy Fury's been sending people to hospital in sparring and leaving people laid cold on the deck in the gym, according to Big John Fury, the man that's got the cure for cancer. What do you reckon?
Well, he hasn't done it as an amateur. He hasn't done it as a professional. I don't think he could knock the skin off a rice pudding, to be honest with you. Who's the sparring partners? Who are they? Who's he sparring?
I don't know. Julian says he was sparring Danny Christie, who's a good fighter. But Danny Christie a BKB fighter? Is he?
Yeah, he's a bare knuckle fighter. I can't see him knocking out Danny Christie, to be honest with you.
I can't.
No chance.
So I don't know, but hey ho. So if nobody's come forward then saying that Tommy's been, icing them, or Tommy knocked him out, maybe Tommy hit him that hard that they're on planet orbit like them 100 that Big John knocked out on hard road.
Yeah, that's right. John's 100-0 on the hard road. He's an undefeated bare knuckle fighter. He had that big fight in the 90s for, what was it, 50,000?
100.
100K in the 90s. So what inflation? So you work out, what was 100K? What would
1993 to now, you'd be talking like times about 3. So it'd be like 300 grand money.
It's massive money. Like, who was the guy actually fought?
Well, when John were interviewing his son by Wally Downs Jr., he said, John, you had £100,000 bare knuckle fight in the early 90s. John goes, yeah, he was with the Irish bare knuckle champion and I knocked him out. Yeah, John, do you remember his name? No, I don't remember his name for the love of me. Moving on from the adventures of Tintin, Bob Arum, will he ever jog on and go get in that Shackleton's ice chair? Because he's 91, puffing on weed all day. Has his head gone?
No, he's just living the life of a flipping. He's just living the life of a baller. That's all he is. He's, he's millions and millions and millions and millions in the bank. He's been doing it for so long. It's a hobby to him. I don't even actually think it's a business to him. I actually think it's just a hobby now to him, and I think he just loves creating absolute chaos. He just loves absolute chaos, and I think it's a hobby now, and I think it's a game to him, and I think he's playing it really, really well.
Yeah. All right, Johnny Fisher's dad. Do you think he'll ever go to Claremont at Sheffield and go get that gastric band fitters? He's going to
next question.
He's going to kill his son, isn't he? He's eating his way to an early grave.
I'm just sick of these people inserting themselves, and there's good young pros coming through there, and amateurs, and good boxers out there that should be getting that exposure, and maybe get a bit of exposure and sell some tickets and get a bit of sponsorship. No, I'm sick of all these people making it about themselves. Next question.
Yeah, okay. Dave Allen. I called it correctly. I said Dave Allen won't fight on the 18th on a Dennis show. Everybody said he will. Max wanted to have yet another bet with me, Max. Do you know Max? He's never won a bet with me yet. Not at snooker, not at anything. Max, he's a serial loser. He's like that guy in a Bronx Tale. Every time he turns up at racetrack, they all screw the race tickets up, don't they? That's Max. If there's a three-legged donkey out there, Max will back it. But Dave Allen is not fighting. So I'm not going to go into detail about what's gone on behind the scenes. But look, I know Dennis like back of my hand. I'm beginning to figure it all out now, this boxing game, and who's who and who's moving what. And it's easy to call it from what they say, isn't it, really? We spot it very quickly, don't we? Max is a bit like me 8 years ago, isn't
he? This has been happening for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know the business arrangement with him and Dennis. I don't know how they're doing it. I didn't see anything announced. I didn't see anything concrete for him. So unless I see a concrete opposition, I don't want to hear about, going to South Africa and going here and going there. When I see it confirmed and I see it actually, taking place, that's when I'll believe it's happening. So it's been happening so long. You look at the whole kerfuffle with remember in the bubble that time.
Yeah,
that was an absolute disaster. He was offered. I think Eddie got him. I think the Lovejoy fight fell through. He got him two opponents. He turned them down, and that was basically him done with Matchroom. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he's serious about boxing or not. I don't know who's training him, but I'm just sick of it. To be honest with you, it's been going on too long.
You're sick of a lot of things these days, Kent, aren't you, mate?
It's just being honest, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to get carried. I'm not going to do summer. I'm not going to run up and down the street doing somersaults when I see Dave Allen saying he's going to fight. If he's going to fight, you fight. That's it. It's easy. You could get fights if he wanted, but what type of money he's looking, what type of level he wants to be at. Is he going to be a contender? Is he going to be a journeyman? Is it a part-time thing? I don't know. When I see him fighting, that's when I'll believe it.
Well, listen, mate. Right. What Max forgets is there's a cut-off point where you can get anybody in from another country. When you're getting somebody in from another
Yeah.
country, right, you got to chase around with paperwork and all that. So technically, when I had Max on the other day, I was looking at the clock and I thought, well, they're not going to get this up at line. But Max knows best, doesn't he? But what I want to make is Dave Allen knows the dance, right? I'm not going to go too far into this, but when you sign with Dennis, you know the score. The opponent has to be paid for. We know how the opponent has to be paid for.
Yeah.
Sell tickets.
Yeah.
Now, if Dave Allen's not fighting and he's in the shape of his life, he's not done any tickets because he's going to be fighting for no, and he's going to have to pay for opponent. Innit? That's how it works.
Makes that is how non-televised fights boxing happens. That's always been the way. I think it's really, really hard for like Dennis. It's really, really hard for these other promoters. They actually pay the same amount as a license as Eddie, Frank Warren. So they're televised promoters. So non-televised promoters are paying basically the same for everything, which I don't think is fair. I don't think the board look after non-televised promoters. I don't think they're treated very well either, to be honest with you. And I think there's no other way. I know what we've said about ticket deals and stuff, but there's no other way for the promoters to make it work. In an ideal world, you would say here, this is what you're going to get, but that's just not possible in today's climate. Those guys in non-televised cards and non-televised boxing, they'd be lucky if they're breaking even off this show.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Mate. Smith and Eubank rematch. It's been activated, Ken.
It's going to be another, unless he gets rid of Pound Shop Jones, who's a Pound Shop trainer. Probably the worst trainer I've seen in boxing, to be honest with you. You get 1 million people and you try and get them to box like Roy Jones. None of them's going to be able to do it. I think that's what he's trying to do with Eubank. I think it's a terrible partnership. I don't understand it. I don't think he really knows anything about, great fighters don't make great trainers. It's like football. Great footballers don't make great managers. Look at
Bobby
the
Moore.
amount of Bobby Moore. Bobby Charlton was another. Even Gary Neville, the extent at Valencia.
Gary Neville, a great footballer. He's just a workman right back. He didn't even do not with ball. Just give it to Beckham.
No, still a great footballer. Look at his trophy cabinet. You look at Gary Neville's trophy cabinet compared to Jimmy Carragher's.
Yeah, I'm sick of seeing Gary Neville. Every time I see Gary Neville, he's on every channel, man. I don't like him anyway. He's Man U and I'm Liverpool.
Look at Roy Keane. Roy Keane's a perfect example.
I don't mind Roy Keane, even though he were Man U. I don't mind Roy Keane because he's anti-establishment, isn't he?
He's anti everything. He's absolutely hilarious. I think.
Could you imagine getting Roy Keane his dinner at Cole on a Sunday if you were his wife? And could you imagine look you'd get off him?
Unreal. He's just a brilliant pundit. He says it like it is. I think he's brilliant for football. So I do, but I don't know. It's
Ken, do you know pundits in football? Why are they not like that in boxing?
Because everyone's looking access. Everyone needs to keep their job. It's you say something about someone and everyone's offended these days. Nobody can have an opinion on anything. If you pick someone to get beat, they don't want to give you access to take it personally. But personally, I think the Beefy fight against Eubank is going to be a disaster for Eubank's career. I think he didn't look right. He hasn't done the weight right. He's too old to be making that weight. Roy Jones has basically destroyed everything, all the advantages that Eubank had. Technically he was never great, but he had that raw aggression. He was fit, he was strong, he was spiteful, he was wicked. He had more success when he was actually training himself and his dad was around him. That's the truth.
Yeah. We're getting to juicy bits now. Akoli react Porte. What did you think to that intense beef? And what did you think to Malcolm X's performance in his anti-Elton glasses?
To be honest with you, if you were actually a proper boxing person, you wouldn't have been at that Creed.
Yeah, because
Three
what they've done
Premier.
to Stallone.
What they've done to Stallone is an absolute disgrace. I don't support it. I think it's a load of crap. I think it's a Mickey Mouse film. Don't like Michael B. Jordan because he befriended Sly to get a role in a film, and they basically cut Sly out of it. The way they have treated Sly the last few years, the way the franchise has screwed him over is an absolute disgrace. I won't be watching it. I won't be paying for it. I think it's absolute garbage. And if any of the Emmons are there at that, they're an absolute joke. It's all Mickey Mouse. It's all nonsense.
Well, Tony Bellew, Sly this, Sly that, hanging out of the back of him, and then when it come down to it, realised, well, he's pushing 80-year-old. I'm safer with Michael, whatever that the Creed star, one of that Michael Jordan or MB Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. He was on
Michael
today.
B.
He was
Jordan,
on
yeah.
to, He was on today saying that Michael B. Jordan's boxing skills are unbelievable, and he could do well as a professional, and he would love to train him. What absolute nonsense!
Bellew's hanging out at the back of him for film roles. That's all it is, mate.
Of course he is.
Bellew is biggest. Listen, mate. Tony Bellew, evening, Tony. I know you're listening. Your biggest networking in boxing, mate. You trample over people to get to people higher up the food chain. You've never beat a champion, and you're an actor now, but you're only acting yourself. Why don't you go take Beethoven on, or not Macbeth? Go do something like that. Go take a proper role on like Sean Bean from Sheffield.
No, he's a joke. So he is. They even say that there. He's an absolute disgrace. I hope the film bombs because it looks absolute trash.
All Rocky fans should boycott this film after what they've done to Sylvester Stallone. That shower of rubbish. They all
boycott everybody. Boycott that nonsense. That crap film. Don't go to it. Don't see it. Don't watch it. Don't like it. Just stay away from it.
Yeah, that's correct. Right, we're getting to the juicy bits now. This is the part you like best, Ken. Feeding time. Right? Right. Robert Smith, Talk Sport, summit meeting with the legendary Simon Jordan. Ken, over to you.
Well, Simon Jordan, firstly, Russell, isn't legendary. He's a failed football chairman. When Simon Jordan ever been to a non-televised boxing event? Many amateur fights have you seen him at? He's only one. He reminds me of Gordon Ramsay in the 90s. Remember when he was hanging out at the back of Ricky Hatton and was being seen at front row seats of all the big fights?
That's how Gordon Ramsay got famous, didn't he? Tagging on to Ricky Hatton army.
So that's what Simon Jordan's doing now. TalkSport are using boxing. If there wasn't Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or Eubanks Jr., there wouldn't be a TalkSport boxing channel, because when was the last time they went on and talked about small hall boxing and non-pay-per-view cards? Simon Jordan, when was the last time you were at an amateur show? When was the last time you were at a boxing event that wasn't pay-per-view? And when was the last time you actually went on and spoke about non-televised boxing? So I'm sick of all this. Oh, I'm a big boxing fan. No, you're not. I'm sick of hearing this. He turned around and said the other day that Eubank Jr. was a charlatan and he had won nothing. He won a British title, Simon. So what are you trying to say about fighters out there who have knocked their pan in their career to win a British title that's changed their futures and we're champions. You know, what's that saying for them? So I don't get what you're saying. I don't understand it. You're devaluing the efforts of guys that have knocked their pans in and their coaches have knocked their pans in to win a British title. I don't like that. You know, I think he's only using, you know, Eubank, you know, Fury, Joshua, just for views, and I'm sick of it. I want him here to talk about I want to hear them talk about proper boxing.
Yeah.
Other than Eubank Jr., Tyson Fury, and AJ. As far as the interview is concerned, yeah, it was parts of it was, but Robert Smith's not going to go on to mainstream radio on YouTube and basically say what he wanted to say. It was all kind of choreographed. It was all kind of broke down what they could say legally. So there was never anything that we were going to hear about it. That was all about Simon Jordan the other day. That wasn't about Robert Smith or boxing.
Yeah, it won't worry, really.
It's just all about him.
Yeah, and what did you think about Smith when he were asked about why they cancelled the show and all that? Because they left it 5.5 weeks, didn't they? And then they
Disgrace.
Yeah. Do you think they knew about it all along and just bottled it once it come out in papers?
It's disgrace. So it was. You look at the amount of people that what Joe Gallagher said was true. You know, he came out and said it right away. What about the compensation for people that paid for flights, hotels, took time off work, paid for tickets, all that? What you know, they should have been compensated for that there. You know, it was the fans that actually lost out. It was the people that actually paid, you know, for all that actually lost out. You know, Eddie was on crying about they lost £1 million and this and that. All that there that they done will be claimed back on tax. That's all tax deductible, and the insurance of it as well. So they'll get most of that back. But what about the people that couldn't cancel flights or hotels? What about them? So I think the board bottled it, and I think Calla and Addy, you know, done their best to try and get it over the line.
You think Calla and Eddie will get no favours from board now?
No, not necessarily. I think the board will be actually terrified now because they need the promoters. They need Matchroom. They've
all got dirt on each other, aren't they?
Absolutely. You know, they need that sanction fee. You know, if Matchroom turned around and says, you know what, see all our fighters, we're going to rip up our license and go somewhere else. They would absolutely, you know, they would panic. So for me, as long as their fighters are paying their board license, I don't think the board's going to go rogue on anybody. To be honest with you,
don't you?
No, that's their income.
Yeah. What do you think about Tony Bellew coming out saying that Fury's on slide and that Usyk's the complete boxer?
What's he talking about? You know, what gives him? You know, how does he know he's on the slide? He's an AJ fanboy. He works for DAZN. What's he talking about?
Yeah.
How does he know?
Yeah, do you think it were painful to see Eddie on IFL saying that AJ's fighting for legacy when really the day before AJ came out and said he's just fighting for dollars now?
Of course, it's just looking to monetize him. You know, they signed him to that stupid deal with DAZN, and that's why the price has went up. He doesn't sell no more. He doesn't sell tickets anymore. People are just fed up with him. Tyson Fury's the daddy now as far as pay-per-view and box office and all that. So no, I don't see what he's talking about, to be honest with you. I think he's just talking out of his backside, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What would you give Robert Smith for a mark out of 10 for his 15 year in office at the Board of Control?
1.
When Robert Smith's been asked that question by me in the past and Charlie Giles, they never answer. They just walk by.
Well, what are they doing? What are they doing for small hall boxing?
Nothing.
What are they doing what are they doing for retired fighters? Why isn't there some sort of scheme where retired fighters that have no affiliation with promoters can come in and train as licensee holders, as referees, as judges, as cutmen, things like that. There's no incentive for them. What do retired fighters get back? Why is there nothing there for fighters, even like a financial advisor? Someone that's going to help them make business decisions and investments and pensions and schemes like that. Whenever fighters are handing over their license fee, and all they're getting back is to be allowed to fight. They're not getting anything else. Why isn't there anything being done for ex-fighters?
Yeah. Okay, I see where you're coming from there. Big John Fury, do you think he's completely fried Usyk's team's minds over the last 12 months and Eddie Hearn's team? But behind the scenes, with all mental stuff they've thrown at Eddie and Joshua and all that. Do you think John Fury and Tyson have got it off to a tee now with concrete mind mixer?
Guerrilla warfare, isn't it? Really is. It's like like waterboarding, the torture people. It's like John boarding. That's what it's like.
Oh, you've got to be fair. The Tyson's terrorizing people in ring and they're terrorizing people outside ring, and they're getting paid, aren't they?
Well, they know how to work the system. They know what they want. To be fair, it's been successful the way they've got it down. The way they've got the control of the promoters. Listen, if that's working for them, we'll fair play. It's they're getting what they want, aren't they?
Yeah. It's they're in a good spot. What do you see happening with Denzel Bentley?
Well, he's back again fighting at British level for British title. I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. He's back
he beat
fighting.
Eubank?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, after that last performance, yeah.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, he's pay-per-view because of his name. Which there's nothing wrong with that. You can't.
Ken, listen, Ken, let me just stop you there, right? Let me just stop you there. Stop. When you're on your driving test, Ken, you get to the junction, it says stop, doesn't it?
Handbrake on.
Stop there, Ken. Right. Look right, look left, look right. But let me just say this to you. What question were we on about then?
Eubank.
Oh, yeah,
Bentley.
Eubank's dad's only beat 4 world champions. That's it. They're going on about him like he's Ray Robinson, mate. He beat 4 world champions. He was protected for years and years and years. There were no box rec in them days, mate. He was fighting road sweepers for years, mate. Years. Just like his son.
Well, yes, but he was one of the real first crossover boxing stars in the UK.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers on ITV. There was 4 channels at the time, and boxing was on mainstream TV. Boxing, you look at that time, the amount of sporting stars in the UK, in the 90s, Linford Christie, there were so many great UK sports stars then, because there was 4 channels. People seen sport more. It was, there was no subscriptions then. So for the casuals and for the normal people watching boxing, Eubank was a massive star, and he was a crossover star. So you look at the numbers then compared to now, it's never going to be like that again. There's never going to be boxing numbers like that again, because there's so many other sports, there's so many other channels. People, it's not readily available as it was. And you're right, they had it down to an art. Barry Hearn had it down to a real fine art. With Eubank, Frank Bruno was the same. They had it down to a fine art with Frank Bruno. They knew how to manage him, how to match him. And I think matchmaking then and how to build fighters then was a lot better than what they can do now. How to, as I say, you had 4 channels. It was so easy the crossover then, where now you have so many other different channels. And I suppose if he was winning, and consistently winning, he was bringing in massive numbers for ITV at the time. It was huge, huge numbers. But I think Denzel Bentley's a brilliant fighter. I think he beats. I think he beats Eubank Jr. I think even Felix Cash would beat Eubank Jr. I think at the minute Eubank Jr.'s just been at middleweight. He's been up and down from super middleweight. He's getting older. He hasn't had a proper trainer in his career. He doesn't listen to his uncle Ronnie at all. Doesn't listen to anybody. I think the Smith fight is going to be round 2. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same as the first.
Yeah, Dale Nichols has asked me to ask you, Ken, is Mark Tibbs running a brothel or a gym?
I think if Dale wants that answer, I think you could give him Mark's number, and I think he could give him a shout himself. Nice question, Dale. Good question, but I'll leave it for Mark to answer that for you.
Oh. Do you think David Price will come back, Kent?
No, he will not. Big Price. He's probably getting £100 a plumbing job now. He's probably making good money plumbing. I think he's a brilliant pundit. I think he speaks really well. I think he always did. I like Pricey. I think he's a good guy. He's been around boxing a long, long time. I think he was hard done by with the amount of drug cheats that beat him. Tony Thompson beat him twice, who failed the test. Akin Tapper beat him. He failed multiple tests. Alexander Povetkin beat him, failed multiple tests. So, yeah, he's just been one of them guys.
He kept taking these fights against these drug cheats, didn't he? So when you lose against these drug cheats, why take the fights against them and why give them airtime? It's because you want.
Well,
no, you can't have it both ways, can you?
Well, he was well paid for them fights. Yes, I agree with you. But I like Big Pricey, to be honest with you. He was entertaining. You didn't know if he was going to knock somebody out or get knocked out himself. He was hit or be hit heavyweight. He was a good fighter. I don't mind Pricey.
Yeah, I don't mind him myself, actually, old Big Truck.
I don't mind the big one. Like he was hit or be hit one. He absolutely flattened Audley Harrison. He needs to be commended for that.
Do you think Johnny Horsecock Nelson will be stepping up to the big seat at Sky?
He's already there. He's nearly already there.
Yeah, well, he's being groomed for the job, I've been told.
It doesn't look like he's depressed without his mate Adam Smith. Like, he doesn't look like he misses Adam, like, does he?
Listen, mate, boxing is the most selfish sport in the world. They'll just say, Adam, on the way out, close the door. Just like Adam said that to Chris Brown when he got rid of him.
Yeah, it's there's no mates in business.
No, there's no mates in boxing, mate. Everybody's patting everybody up back at these shows and high-fiving them, and then when they're walking off, they're saying, grass.
When there's money involved, there's no mates. That's the way it is.
That's it, Kent. That is correct. Tony Bellew, right? His pundit work and at DAZN. Do you think he's getting to be a better pundit?
No, because he's not objective. He's his own agenda. He works for DAZN.
Coogan, Johnny on the spot with his camera, React Porte, Lawrence Acoli, intense beef. What a put-up job.
Of course it was. It's anybody with half a brain would know that.
Is Tommy Fury against Jake Paul worth 20 quid pay-per-view?
It's not worth 20p, Russell.
But 14 fights between them and they're on a pay-per-view fight.
It's not worth 20p.
No, I see where you're coming from, mate. I see where you're coming from. Right, we're out of town, Ken. Is there anything you'd like to say or add?
Just don't watch Creed 3. It's garbage. It's nonsense. If you're a proper boxing fan, Sly fan, don't watch it. It's absolute garbage.
Are you taking Creed posters off at wall, Kent, now?
Don't want anything to do with it. It's absolute trash.
How can they disrespect Rocky Balboa, a legend?
Disgraceful. It's absolute trash.
Unbelievable. But Stallone's not bothered, is he? Really, he's worth 800 million, isn't it? It says in Forbes.
Well, I think it's just a disrespect of it and how they've treated him. To be honest with you, I think it's a disgrace.
Yeah, because he's took his character and they're doing what they want with it now, aren't they?
It's disgraceful. So it is. I don't want to watch that nonsense.
But obviously, he's not going to be playing Rocky in the film, so why should he be bothered?
No, well, no. It's as I say. There's no mates in business, is there?
No, there isn't, mate. There's no mates at all. Do you want to end on wishing Max well in his comeback?
Has he been training?
He says he's doing 2 mile in the morning. He told me last night. He said 2 mile in the morning.
Well, he said he was sparring with Matt Legg. Matt Legg's a brilliant guy, so he is.
Yeah, he'll learn off Matt.
He's a really good channel. I actually watch his channel. I think it's a brilliant channel. I like Matt Legg. I think he's a brilliant narrator and talks a lot about the faces, and he likes talking about Lenny and Roy Shaw, and his channel's absolutely brilliant.
Talk about people that are dead, though, isn't it? Because they're not. There's a lot of people on social media talk about people who've died, and they're not here to back the stories up, are they?
And a thing I like about Matt's stories, they're all positive. He doesn't say anything negative about anybody. And he said the other week there that, you know, he's open about, you know, he struggled with alcohol and stuff. And I just think he's a brilliant guy. I just want to say, you know, Matt, if you're watching, keep it up. You're a brilliant guy. You're a good fighter. I respect him. And I hope he keeps it up. And I hope he you future in the success. He's a really good guy.
Okay. Is your mum okay, Kent?
I think everything's fine, Russell. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's fine. How's the kids?
All right.
Car's going okay, yeah. We're back spring out at the minute, so I'm going to have to get that fixed. Get the back spring fixed and going to need a new set of tires.
Oh, Ken, you can get them reconditioned back springs, you know that, don't you?
It's just never ending, but it's an easy job. I just passed MOT about a month ago, and then the back spring goes. So I think it's the way I'm parking on the curb. I have a driveway there that I don't even use.
Ken, didn't you get a advisory on your spring when it passed MOT?
What do you mean?
The back spring, right? If you just passed MOT, right, you should have surely had an advisory on the MOT. You know when it passed.
Right. Didn't know that.
Just bad luck in it, Ken.
Just could be the way I'm parking. You know, I have a driveway there I don't even use, but I'm hopefully gonna get that fixed.
Are you still driving around with that green square thing on back window, Ken, that says P? Are you?
No, definitely not.
You took it off now.
Here, you have to pay me for that, Russell. You have to pay me for that.
Somebody stuck well on mine, you know, and I couldn't get it off.
Fucking unbelievable.
Somebody being a weapon.
Yeah, there's a lot of weapons. There's a lot of weapon behavior out there, like. So there is a lot of weapon behavior.
Well, listen, Ken, you have a great weekend, and I will speak to you soon. Take care, my friend.
All right, Russell. Take care, buddy.
Peace
All
out.
the best.
All right. Big shout out, Welcome Estates, Spartan Demolition. Hope you're all well, lads. That's about it, boys and girls. We've got Gary coming on tomorrow for a boxing video and a diet video. Hopefully, we've got some guy called John from over that way, Manchester lad. He'll be coming on probably in a week, so it's all looking good. Peace out. Big shout out Frank Smith in Bury. Booyaka.